Guys, thanks for joining me today. Monoculture farming, another hot button on social media. Not even really going to acknowledge much of social media. Don't really care what the ignorants have to say. Corn on corn, monoculture farming, if used in a no-till, strip-till situation, is a fantastic tool for a soil health improvement. In my area, corn on corn is a monoculture thing. There ain't many guys doing it. There's only a couple crazy guys that have tried it, and it was fantastic. You looked at that soil 5 years ago, and you look at that soil today, you'd think it's two different fields. It is a huge improvement to the soil health and overall quality of that soil. If you're doing corn on corn full tillage, that's a whole different topic, whole different subject. Today we're talking soil health amendments, improvements, using corn on corn. Why does it work? Why would corn on corn instead of like a soybean on soybean or small grain on small grain? Small grain on small grain in a no-till situation can work great. We can't grow a quality, viable small grain to make it justifiable to attempt. In other parts, you don't have to get too far away from here. They can grow some fantastic wheat. And fantastic wheat, you put a ton. Wheat is the same thing, the small grains. You just got tons of roots under that surface of the soil, and you got tons of dry matter spread back out on the surface to protect the surface from wind and water erosion. For us, we can grow okay corn. It's a product that we can almost bank on. And so in today's farming environment, I think if there's anything that you can almost make a profit on, that's the direction you head to. And so corn is one of them products that we can almost make a profit on. So the corn, what the theory is that the bugs need food to eat. All that soil life needs food to eat. So with corn, every year you're putting tons of roots in that soil for all that micro life and big worms and other big bugs to eat all them roots. The other great thing is them roots provide channels through hard pans. Water can infiltrate and follow them root channels through for a better infiltration of water and less runoff. All that residue on top of the soil acts as a protector from the sun, so the top of that soil isn't getting so hot like at the beach, the sand. It's keeping it from that. Soil life stays right near the surface. It's eating the big bugs, the worms, and them other big bugs are eating all that residue, and they're turning it, their poop is new soil, and they're turning it into new dirt. And that cycle just keeps continuing. It's very easy for us on strip till and no-till. Believe it or not, it's tremendously easier a corn on corn program in strip till no-till to manage your nitrogen than it is on conventional till. On no-till, corn on corn, all your residue is on top. So all we have to do is slice through that residue and band our nitrogen under the surface for the new crop, and we're very efficient. On a conventional tilled farm, you mix all the residue in with the soil, and if you broadcast your fertilizer out there, all that residue will absorb a certain percentage of that nitrogen, and it will release it at some date. It might be too late in the fall when it releases it, or it might be perfect when it releases it. That's up to your weather and environment. But either way, in a conventional tilled corn on corn program, a lot of them guys are saying they need an extra 50 yen credits or something because the residue is going to tie it up. So a plug for the no-till strip till is we're tremendously more efficient to handle corn on corn. And the other great part is we don't need chopping corn heads. We don't need to go out with stock choppers. Could it help? You bet, because you got a ton of trash flow out there. Some strip till units or no-till planters can't quite handle that much trash. Then you'd go out with a stock chopper. But Mother Nature, in my one soybean video of where did all my corn residue go, that's proof that Mother Nature will take last year's corn, and by the end of this year, it's gone. Other than a couple cobs and a random stalk, it's all gone. It's turned into new dirt. We're ready to go. We can walk around with the compaction probe and show how them roots have made the holes and channels. And in my other video of dirt on dirt, I showed how them roots get through that hard pan and fight compaction for us. The guys that are doing full tillage, corn on corn, or full tillage after corn, with a deep ripper, trying to fight compaction with a deep ripper, that's the definition of insanity, that they're doing the same thing over and over and hoping they get a different result, and their different result is that they don't have to go back out, but ultimately they end up going back out because they reduced the soil structure, which helps transfer compaction through. By turning up the residue in the dirt, it burns up the residue into carbon a lot quicker, which reduces the humus in the soil. Think about it, if you took all that corn residue on top, that's like carpeting. That's a cushion between the tires and the soil. That's absorbing some of the energy and weight of the equipment, and it's spreading it out. And in that top half inch or inch, if it gets pushed into some of that, think about if you took a ball of mud and mixed in some paper towel, tried to make a ball of mud around a paper towel. No matter how hard you squeeze that ball of mud, as long as that paper towel is still in there, that there's ways for water and bug life and oxygen to get through that dirt, and then it's easy to break that ball of mud apart. And that's how our corn residue acts in that soil. In the fall, if it's muddy, it gets mixed in that top half inch to an inch, and it helps break that soil back up. And so it is a tremendous aid in fighting compaction. I cannot see, in a 5-year cycle, I cannot see one downfall as to why on earth a guy would not do corn on corn if it is a viable crop for him on the farm. The soil improvement is magnificent. We're going to start a field this year on it, and so for the next 5 years we're going to follow that field and see what happens to that soil and go from there. Now soybeans, what about soybeans on soybeans? Soybeans offer very little to nothing to the soil. They have a taproot and some very tiny root system. You have that little tiny plant behind the combine. By next spring, even in a no-till situation, the next year there's hardly any residue out in the field to deal with. If you did no-till bean on bean on bean, you would pretty much be at a stagnant level. If you did tillage of beans on beans, you are taking huge steps backwards in soil health. You are totally setting up that field for wind and water erosion, tremendously adding compaction, tremendously creating huge potentials for washouts and stuff like that. And so you just gotta kind of get to, not every crop is a great monoculture or a great continuous rotation. We go 5 years on corn, maybe we'll follow that field with 1 year on beans, just to clean it up a little bit, and then go to alfalfa, and then throw 4 or 5 years in alfalfa. I think in that 10-year cycle, man, I bet that field I guarantee we will not recognize. In 10 years, we're gonna pull this video back up and we're gonna look back at that. But yeah, corn on corn, you guys hear and read all this stuff on social media. This is why farmers are doing it. That's how it helps our soil. That's how it helps us be good stewards of the land. Thanks for watching, guys.